Hey guys, welcome to the Asking Us Show, episode number 54. And today I'm going to be talking about how you need to think about your website in 2019. Stick around. What I really want to put forward in this video is just another way to think about your website. Because a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, they think about a website in a sense, well, I have to do it because everyone else has one, right? And they don't put too much thought into how that website should actually function and what sort of functionality do I need to sort of implement into the website that's actually going to make me stand out in the market. Most people see website in the traditional sense, a brochure site, just something you flick through all the services and the products are blah, blah, blah. You got your homepage, your about us, your services, and your contact us. And that's all there is for a lot of sites. Even for more medium businesses, a lot of the time they have that with just a really basic blog which they might even update a few times a year, right? Or maybe a few times, maybe a few times every 6 months. It's not thinking about a website in the way that is relevant in 2019. And so first thing I want to discuss is that design matters. How your website looks and the first impressions matter. It's almost like when you walk into a bricks and mortar, let's say you walk into a restaurant, first impressions matter. Is it clean? Is the tables all neat? There's not like just crumbs and plates everywhere and I don't even know where to sit down. No one's sort of greeting me. It's a horrible first impression, even if the food is amazing. So design matters, and how people first get stumbled on the website go, oh wow, this is what they do, this is how well presented the site is. And so making sure that your website sort of looks the part is very important. So a lot of time and money and emphasis needs to go into how it actually looks. Your logos and your branding overall matter so much. That's number one. Number two, you got to start thinking of it as a digital showroom. So it's not just a website that someone comes in looking for a cleaner. It's so much more than that. It's what am I actually going to be getting out? If I buy from you, what am I actually getting out of that? And that's obviously going to be more difficult for some people than others. And I think if you are just a cleaner, quote unquote, then you need to demonstrate what you are going to actually present in that service that's going to wow me. So if I go to buy a car, a Mercedes, the showroom isn't just showing me the flashy car. It's going to detail about why I should purchase that car and all the features and why it's so different than all the other cars I could buy in this price range. And so thinking about the website from a digital showroom, what am I, okay, the design is great. Now what I'm actually walking into. It's obviously thirdly, it's going to be a content resource. So yes, a blog is very important, but it's not just only thinking about a blog in terms of the latest industry news. Let's be real. People don't care about the latest news about your company, right? People get so romantic about who they are as a company and how they think about themselves internally than thinking about themselves externally and what they give to the market. People and business owners need to get more emotional about what they give and be more romantic about what they give than who they can perceive themselves to be. And so creating a blog is very important, but even within creating a content resource, there's so many layers to that. So there could be, for example, a how-to section on the blog, right? So it's not just content in a certain format all the time. So what I normally break this down for clients is there is two types of content just on the top of my head that's going to matter to clients. One, what are your target market directly searching for on Google? So let's have a strategy where we incorporate that into the blog. So they're usually how to clean a diamond ring, how to install this, how to clean this, how do I rank better in 2019. It's a how-to driven, generally it's a how-to driven search query base. Now, there's obviously a lot more around that, and some people might want to compare products, Samsung versus Sony. So having content that's directly being searched for in Google and Bing and even perhaps YouTube, and having that incorporated into the blogging and content marketing strategy is very important. But then there's also other type of content where people may not be searching for, that if they land on your website, they find valuable and they share it. And more importantly, people may even link to it, which then is going to have a flow-on effect and generate more people to the website through other searches on Google. So if your content could be something that maybe people aren't necessarily searching for, but they will find valuable. Sometimes you don't, if you're looking for a particular service, sometimes you don't know everything about that service. And so you might have a content area where you think, oh wow, that's interesting. I want to know more about that. And of course that can happen for SEO content, but generally content that people haven't thought about is the revolutionary content. And so thinking about your website as a content resource that is looking to sort of challenge the status quo, to improve, to innovate is very important, as well as figuring out what content people are searching for on Google. Next, it's also a communication hub, if you will. I can call, I can fill out an inquiry form, but there also needs to be other ways to sort of communicate with the brand. Maybe, you will have a comment section. I remember back in the day, people used to have guest books, which is just, they're completely gone. But people would sort of just like leave, best wishes and things like that. And having more and more functionality on a website to actually communicate with the brand back and forth is very important. Live chat, for example, that's a big way to communicate. A lot of people like live chat because they can sort of write you something and then they can go off and do something else and multitask. And I talked about in a previous video about the importance of speed and convenience. And I think if someone can sort of ask a question without having to call or inquire and get their answer immediately without having to take their full active attention, well, that's actually going to appeal to so many people. For me, out of those three, I generally always opt for live chat because I feel like I can do just that. I can keep working while getting my query answered. Next, a resource to come back to. A lot of people think about their website as, well, I need a plumber, I'm going to get a plumber now, and that's it. And obviously having a content resource is a reason to come back to, but thinking about other more advanced ideas that would make someone want to come back to. I think about just to give you an example, I talk about the Netflix content model, right? What does Netflix do so well? Well, first of all, their design and their user experience is fantastic. I can find what I want quickly. They're updating content, as I mentioned, content, but they're also creating new content. And the section that makes me want to go back in particular is the recently added. So you've got your content strategy, but then you need a reason to keep coming back. So you might have, let's say, a section on the site about something that your customers will find interesting. You might have updates on the jobs that you've done. So this week you're going to be doing this section of the site or the section of a job, and then figuring out what's actually going to be interesting. For me, the reason I love recently added is it's my curiosity that peaks and it makes me want to come back. And last, thinking of your website as an application, right? It's obviously going to be a site where I can download meaningful resources. That's a big part of being a great application. Second thing is it might have a really advanced functionality. Like, I was looking at the other day with a site that provides like a co-working office environment, and you can actually, they've got this software where you're physically walking around the office, which is crazy. Like, I feel like I don't even have to go and leave my chair anymore, that I can actually just walk through and see what's actually in that office without having to travel 45 minutes to go and see it. One of my clients has another very interesting evolution in their website where they work with a lot of interior designers and architects. So they actually installed a 3D modeling, so you can actually change the colors of your skirtings and your architraves and this and that, and you can see what a room looks like if you were to purchase these sorts of products. And so ensuring that your website is thinking about what is best for the users and how they can sort of interact and engage and keep coming back is how you need to think about your website. Not, well, I have a website and if someone's looking for this, they can contact me, or just because I have a website, people will find. It's the age old, build it and they will come. And as marketing continuously advances, we find that that's going to become harder and harder to do. So thinking about your website away from the traditional brochure sense to the more advanced application, content resource, and a reason to keep coming back and to communicate with your brand is absolutely paramount in 2019. Thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, please leave a comment in the section below. Please send us an email to andrew@amigadigital.com.au and reference episode 54, and I'll love to speak with you. Have a great day, guys.